Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset number 6, have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique Freeman, 3 players you have to know about.
You know, speaking of the Zips have a 3-game lead in the Mid-America Conference right now after a big win last night. Travis Steele, nice to see you get a little bit of regression. Mike Randle, Gus Kearns here with you. It's March 1st. I thought about champagne, but we saved that for the actual bracket. So I got a cafe mocha today with the double espresso, so I'm very caffeinated. All the games are here. You know the drill. You guys get a taste, but the subs get it live. We go live in there. We go through each one of the games. That's why you have to join FTN Fantasy. We have a new promo code for all of you. Bottom of the screen there. You can see it coming across. All you got to do, go to ftnfantasy.com. March 20. Promo code March 20 gets you 20% off. 20. That's a biggie. It's more than 15. 20% off bets and VIP. And what you want to do is get in there. The models are cooking. Frank Brank was just at the Combine with Aaron Schatz. Jeff Radcliffe was just out there. He was on the radio with us last night looking at prospects, but they're still running the models. They still have all the projections for you. Conference tournaments last year, Frank ran the conference tournaments. He told you Oregon was a great pick.
Yep.
They played Colorado. Nobody had that in the Pac-12. It was such a big upset. They got rid of the Pac-12 this year. So there's so much that you can have. You want to join us in March. Gus and I are not sleeping. The whole thing, partner. Great to see you. Nice that Gus is taken off from his daughter, absolutely kicking the crud out of every team in Group 2, New Jersey. They are on rest today, but they are very live as the 1 seed in the state tournament. Gus, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, beautiful. It's the best time of the year. I mean, let's get after this. It is officially March. It is our time of the year. The listeners, the subs, the viewers. I think this is kind of the day that we're waiting for, the anticipation. We can get into it and kind of prep ourselves and get ready for those conference tournaments. And then, of course, March Madness itself, with getting ourselves kind of like sharpening up the steel right now, today, on a couple of picks for Saturday.
Yeah, and if you need a better basketball mind, you're not going to find one than Gus. You look behind him, you see the M. No, it's not Michigan. It's James Madison. You see the fireball above our head from our Screen the Screener podcast where this all started, and somehow people have hired me, and Gus has continued to do all his incredible work, and he has some great stuff coming up for FTN as well. So we've been hired by FTN. Nobody knows why. Behind there, you see UCSB, the Banana Slugs. I mean, that's all you need to know. You're ready to go. So, Gus, let's check out the comments because it's our people. That's why we're here. We're here for the people.
Yes, sir.
Mike, great job in the ASUN tournament. I appreciate that, Al. I got that in the Discord. I have a video coming out tomorrow. I will have a preview of the ASUN, the Horizon. Gus, I'm so tired. I don't even know, but there will be 4 conferences. I give you my favorite. I give you my sleeper. I give you my deep sleeper. Of course, for the ASUN, Gus, I can reveal this. The North Florida Osprey, who were super hot for us, then got cold. Now we're starting to get hot again. Yes, Gus, they'd have to win 4 games on the road. I understand that. Yes. But it's March. And as you saw from John Rothstein, I believe 12 of the 32 conference tournaments were won by the top seed last year. So that means roughly 2/3 of the conference tournaments are not won by the 1 seed. Why not us? Why not now, Gus?
Time to find that value for sure. And you were very hot. You were smack on last season with Milwaukee as well.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. And any early thoughts on Sparty tomorrow? Gus, here are my thoughts. You've been in the text chain with our good friend Matt Pizarris, works for the Bucks. His son Max is at Michigan State. I've been just trying to destroy Max, and he's just destroying me. Right. So at this point, Al, I don't think Michigan State has talent. I don't think any of those guys are good. But you know what? They're killing me. So I firmly expect Sparty to beat Wisconsin and Jackson Kohler to have 40. That's what's going to happen because I can't take it anymore. I continue to fade them. This reminds me of the Gonzaga hate that I had years ago, and then they made the finals.
Right.
I don't think they're very good, but he is that good. I mean, gosh, if they had one player who was a 5-star recruit, besides, I know Richardson's been pretty good, but they would win the title. So I give up. Al. I wave the white flag. Can't take it anymore. That's fine. Dan is always here. A good buddy up from UMass. It's the best time of year. Darn right, Dan. Was that a strike that your son is pitching there? I need to know on that picture.
Looks like
Tommy B, you were at Kent Akron. Very good.
Wow. Like okay.
Tommy, Ohio stinks. And I know I got burned last week, but we'll get into that. I'm sorry. I can't get off it. Kyle, 133 games to celebrate. That's why St. John's. Yeah. Look, Kyle, we can give you the breakdown. Pitino's gotten to 2 Final Fours with the worst 3-point shooting team in the modern era. He's been there twice with Louisville. He was busted about Russ Smith the other day. He's like, I'll never play like Russ Smith. No. I didn't have to tell Russ to shoot. That wasn't a problem. The defense is great. I think, Gus, they're like Houston Light. They really are in how they play. RJ Lewis, he said he talked to some reporters. Pitino is a lock for the Big East Player of the Year, probably as he should be. Boy, I'm shocked it wasn't Alex Caravan. Anyway, but I digress. Gus, Final Four, we have to see the brackets. But the one thing I'll say is I think they're going to be in the East because they're not going to miss an opportunity to put them in. They're not.
Here's my quick thought. My NBA brain turned on for both Michigan State and for St. John's, and it reminded me of Chris Middleton making mid-range jump in that title. Both Michigan State and St. John's are not afraid of that mid-range open jumper. That's a good shot for their team. So they're kind of going against the grain of modern basketball, and I think I kind of like it.
Excellent. Chad, I love you, buddy. I'm so glad you're here. But I don't know about today with Rick Barnes. We'll get into that one in a little bit also. Jameson is great. Jameson's having surgery during March, and he's still on the show. Yeah, basic surgery, he said. He'll be ready to go. But Ohio Valley tournament in town this week. Jameson, do you have room at your house? Can I come if my wife kicks me out from watching too much basketball? Baylor minus 13 in a blowout. We can talk about that one as well. Kentucky today, I believe, Gus, Jason, loyal listener, appreciate it, brother. I don't think Jackson Robinson is there. I think he's out today. Now, it doesn't seem to matter because Mark Pope finds a way to win, but this one's going to be a little toughy today. Aren't they hosting Auburn today?
A little bit. Trouble spot.
There is a monthly, Jordan. What you can do is the monthly. So you can do a monthly subscription. You go there and use the promo code as well. You can do the monthly subscription. Check it out. Let me know. You can message me if you can't find it. Clemson minus 6.5. Maryland. Dan, I mean, think I'm not picking Maryland, but that's fine. America plus 4.5. We can get into.
Okay.
Scott, great to see you. Gus, you guys are the men. Had a great regular season. Now it's March. Thank you. Cousin Jer, Randle, and Cousin Jer does the best pizza reviews in New Jersey. You gotta watch those with Cousin Jer.
The pick is good.
Yeah, the pick is good. The pick is good. He may not be good, but the pick is good. And last one, Daryl, great to see you, buddy. Here we go. Okay, let's get into it, folks.
Okay.
I appreciate your patience.
Sir.
It's been 7 minutes. We probably lost 100 subscribers because we're talking. Fine. Yeah, okay, Gus. I am not a fan of Kevin Willard, but Kevin Willard can coach defense. Absolutely. Yes. And they have really a lot of talent this year. They brought in Selton Miguel, and the freshman inside has been absolutely wonderful.
Queen's been great.
For them. Derek Queen has been great. He's going to be a lottery pick. But this is what I'll tell you. I still believe, and remember, I've gotten burned when I have left teams that I have strong beliefs on early, and I've backed off Vermont. I don't think Maryland is going to win the Big Ten conference tournament. And we know they're not going to win the Big Ten regular season because they're behind Michigan State and the fraud that is Michigan. I digress. But I think Penn State at home is always tough. This is the magic 5.5 and maybe 4.5 because I put this in last night, which wouldn't surprise me. Everyone is going to be on Maryland because Penn State stinks. They're 5-13 in the conference. They're 15-14, but they beat Nebraska at home, hung 89. They beat Minnesota away. Do with that as you may. Indiana, that was a game they were winning and they lost, but they did cover. Nice job by them. I think they show up today. I think they play well. I think it's too many points. Just my feeling. Gus, tell me I'm an idiot.
You might be an idiot. The only 3 games that Maryland has lost have been like at the buzzer. They have been in every game the past 10 games that they've played /1/blew them out. I don't think that trend changes here. And I like Maryland in this spot on the road because it's taken a miracle shot to beat them, to actually physically beat them the last couple of times out.
Yeah, it's fair. They'd have to struggle to score, and your guy, Conan Niederhauser, has to play.
Love him.
But I do like Penn State plus 5.5. That's good. Well, one of us is going to be right. Go with Gus, go with me. I get what he's saying. Maryland's been on a roll.
Yeah.
I have a blind spot to a certain extent, and I just think at some point they're going to struggle. They could lose this game and still be really great, but a 5.5 is the number. It's frisky with me.
Right, frisky.
Why is American getting 5.5 at Colgate? Colgate stinks, but Colgate stinks. Like, again, I got it last night. Now it's 4.5. I get it, but this is a down Colgate year. They're 10-7. They played American and lost away by 4. I get it. This is senior night. Do with that as you may. Gus has changed me. I used to be all about senior night. And Gus always said to me, be careful and go both ways. And he's right. It's about 50-50. Right. Sometimes they get fired up and sometimes they're a total mental mess. Although Texas State got to the window against your JMU last night.
They did, yeah, I know.
But American is right at the top of the Patriot League. They are tied with Bucknell 12-5. So I believe this game is going off before the Bucknell game. We'll get to Bucknell also. I believe if they tie, Bucknell gets the 1 seed. I'm sorry. If they tie and if Bucknell gets the 1 seed, I think also there's some combination where if Navy wins their game, that can also give them the 1 seed. But at the very least, if Colgate wins this, they are knocking American off from getting a share of the title. So you're going to get a maximum American effort.
Yes.
Of course, there's a chance that Bucknell loses. I know it's Holy Cross, so probably not, but whatever. Right. But if American wants to get a share of the title, they got to win this game. And they're getting 5.5 points, which is now 4.5. I don't think Colgate blows them out, Gus. What say you?
I don't think so either. I think this is an absolute respect line. Like, we've all known that Colgate has been good for, I don't know, the past 7 years. Yeah. And I feel like that has been, that's just been entrenched, and that's why that line exists here. And Keegan Records isn't walking through that door right now.
That is, what a call by Gus, because the Pitino speech was I think 30 years ago today or something. I saw this morning. So Larry Bird isn't walking through the door, right? Look, guys, Auburn is good, and right. I get it. It's Kentucky, and Mark Pope has done a wonderful job, but they are still a team that struggles at defending 2-point scoring. Have you heard of Janai Broom? So I don't think they stumble here without Jackson Robinson. You want to say they get fired up right away and they play well at the start. That's fine, but they have not seen Auburn this year. This is the only time they're going to play Auburn. Kentucky is going to be without Jackson Robinson, and without him, they lost away at Texas, but they beat Vanderbilt at home by 21. They lost away at Alabama, but they won away at Oklahoma. I don't see how this line is so low. If they had Jackson Robinson, I can get there. Gus, I don't think he's playing today, so I can't get there.
I can't get there either. The biggest defensive puzzle piece or chess piece that Coach Pope has is Lamont Butler. Lamont Butler can't guard Caldwell or Broom or Chaz Baker-Mazaro. He can't. That's not his positional defensively. So I think it's too much force, too much length, too much height that Kentucky's not going to be able to defend efficiently. Sure, will Butler, get into Pettiford a little bit? Probably, but that's not going to stop what's happening inside. So I'm with you on this. Bad defensive matchup for Kentucky, regardless. Jackson Robinson, agnostic.
Okay, fair. Gus brought this one up. We got on the show, and I said, what are your picks? And he told me this one. I should have put it in myself, but I can't take credit. He's taking it. Gus, tell the people about why you're taking Utah State plus 2.5 at Colorado State.
Utah State is still a Mountain West title, regular season title contender. Every game's going to matter. So we have that established. They're 5-1 as the underdog this year. I think the Aggies are going to out-rebound the Rams on the road on FS1. And if you look at that backcourt of Falsev and Martinez is one of the most underrated backcourts in the nation. Stop, period, end of sentence.
Excellent.
Those two players will make some noise in March. And I think this will just be a warm-up for them. Them getting points seems absolutely ridiculous in any game, so I'm going to grab them here and run with it. Absolutely.
Gus is right. New Mexico's 14-3, so they have a game lead over Utah State, who's 14-4. Basically, they have an extra game,
right?
But it's Air Force, so I'm going to assume they beat Air Force, and they have a game lead with 2 left. Basically, Colorado State's 13-4. This game is frisky, but Utah State is well coached. Jared Calhoun shoots a 3 well. Everything Gus said, I co-sign. Really good pick. Like it a lot. They're coming. I have planted my flag, and I have started already. I like Xavier, and I like them because they've underachieved. I like them because they shoot the 3. I like them because they are the second oldest team in the country, not because I am old, but because I think old and veteran matters. Sean Miller's a good coach. Yes, I know he struggled with the Final Four and stuff, but they can make a run. You want my Clemson this year? I got to wait to see the brackets, to be totally fair, because Xavier's going to end up going against Drake, and I'm going to be like, what am I doing in this game? But I like Xavier. I think they show up against Creighton today. I get it, and Creighton's wonderful. And you heard Pitino. We have no interest in sharing anything. So, Patino's going after it in his matchup. So Creighton played Xavier and beat them at home 86-77, but that was a close game. They got extremely hot from three. He's going to pack the house tonight. Xavier's on a bit of a roll. They've won 4 straight games. They get this game. It's Butler away and then Providence. And you were staring at 21-10, 10-7 for Sean Miller. They make their free throws, Gus. I like them here. Creighton's good. Creighton's really good. And no Pop Isaacs. What a job by McDermott. But I like Xavier here.
I love Xavier in the spot. And I've liked Xavier since the preseason for a number of the reasons that you mentioned: the age, the continuous of the roster. I love Swain. They play through him at the nail.
Yeah.
He is a distributor, a scorer, a rebounder, a defender. McKnight is one of those old school, tough Big East guards that's not going to get rattled. And of course, Fremantle's been there for 27 years due to injury and COVID and those things. But this is his last ride. Like, he's not going to go out against Kalkbrenner and be like, okay, he's the 3-time defensive player of the year. I'm not going to try to get my numbers. He's totally going to try to posterize him. And we saw Kalkbrenner get posterized last week as well. So I like Xavier in this spot, but I also like Xavier overall. I like your futures play on them.
We got to say happy birthday to Helms. His birthday is March 5th.
Yo, Helms.
That's just brilliant. Congratulations. Boy, Quantitative, you just live to stick it to me, buddy. Whoever I pick, Quantitative, you Maryland bounce back. I got your bounce back. All right, thank you very much. All right, here we go. Moving on. Quantitative gets me off my game. If I played poker against Quantitative, I'd lose thousands of dollars with him. Gus, you got another game you want to talk about, and I agree with this one as well.
Okay.
They burned me. I got the live one in Discord, the live line, but I did lose the overall cover against, Keith Ergo and Fordham. Tell the people why you like Mason today, even though they're on the road at Duquesne against LeBron's buddy, the head coach.
Right. I saw this number floating around 1.5 as well. So whatever value you can get to it, go grab it. I saw it over at MGM earlier. I think that George Mason we talked about this game last week on the show. It got humbled at VCU. That was the line that made no sense. The 10.5 line.
Yeah.
Mason's 22-6. They're still floating around like wrong side of the bubble conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to hit just enough threes and they're going to rebound just enough in a kind of coin flip game. Give me Jalen Haynes with like a double-double on the road. I think since the margin is this close, we go with the superior team, and the superior team this year is George Mason. So give me George Mason on the road with a small number here. I think they'll bang enough threes and they'll out-rebound Duquesne on the road.
Yeah, Mason right now is 13-2. VCU is 14-2. So Mason actually has a shot if they can win out to tie for the A-10 conference, even though they lost. I mean, they won't get the 1 seed. I get that. But they can absolutely tie. What's standing in their way is away Duquesne, home LaSalle, and away Richmond. Not exactly a gauntlet. So I expect them to play well here. Their defense is superior. They are number 2 in the country at effective field goal percentage allowed. Basically the second best in effective field goal percentage allowed per KenPom. That's pretty good. They're 8th in 3-point defense. They're 7th in 2-point interior defense. You want to go with Duquesne, that's fine. And yeah, Drew Joyce did a nice job turning them around. They got to 4-1. Then they lost 5 straight games. Then they beat Loyola Chicago at home, lost to Dayton away. They played well. Kind of law efforts also, Gus. I like George Mason here a lot. I think they are a good team, and they get going. If you know anything about the show, we love King Rice. I'm going to keep riding Monmouth. Want to listen. Monmouth has been great. King Rice has been fantastic. You look at teams against the spread, and I'll pull it up now. Monmouth this year is 17-12-1. That is a top 20 spot in the country. Then you look at them on the road, which I believe is where they are today. Are they on the road? I think I'm positive they're on the road. Are they home or they're on the road here? Monmouth. Hold on. Because I had that. I used the same logic that I used when I picked them earlier this week. Yeah. They're only 12-18 overall. So if you just look at them, no one's going to like them. They are away today at Drexel. So in games as an away team, Monmouth, 9-7-1. They compete. I get it's the Drexel, it's the senior day, whatever you want. King Rice has been that good. He's been great for us here. We're on a roll. I'm not getting off from 5.5 at Drexel. Zach Spiker, be damned. That's fine. Let's see, Gus. Any others? You got anyone? I got a couple more.
I would say two best players on the floor for Monmouth as well. That's always a safety net if you want to go with that. Like they're going to have two bucket getters that Drexel are not going to have. Sure, Drexel's good defensively, and they'll probably be able to defend one, but both, I'm not sure.
One of my favorite movies is Heat. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that it's one of my favorite movies because of the scene where Pacino and De Niro go to the diner and they basically talk to each other. And it's just a great scene that required zero tension. There's another part of that movie that's great. When De Niro has to get vengeance against this guy, Van Zandt, who ratted them out, he breaks into his house and he's about to shoot. Oh, he breaks into the hotel. Okay. Right. He's about to shoot the guy, Wayne Rowe. Wayne Rowe is the guy who sold him out, and he caused all his buddies to get it. So he goes to the hotel, he sneaks in, he kicks the door down to Wayne Rowe. He's got the gun on him. He looks at him and he goes, "Look at me. Look at me," meaning look at me before he ends up killing him. Bryant, look at me. Look at me, Bryant. You're not winning this game. You are not winning this game against Chris Markwood. I have watched Bryant. Bryant thinks they're the new champ of the America East, okay? And you look at the America East standings. Bryant is 12-2. Vermont is 11-3. All John Becker needs for you to do is mess up here today. And you know what, Bryant? I know you played Maine earlier this year, and you beat them 81-55. And you're looking there going, if we can just get Maine, then we host New Hampshire, and we're not losing. Bryant, look at me. Look at me. Maine is winning this game. Maine plus 1.5 against Bryant. It's a payback spot. Maine's very tough at home. They're a great three-point shooting team. They're also great at forcing turnovers. Bryant's going to play at a really fast pace. I think Maine gets this game, knocks them back, and Vermont is able to get a share. I don't think Bryant's winning the America East outright. Look at me. What do you say, Gus?
I think we need to clip that and then put that on some social media right there. That is beautiful. I love that the John Becker narrative is now infiltrating other picks in the show. That's exactly
what narrative did you say, Gus? I'm sorry.
The John Becker narrative.
Oh, well, speaking of which, Gus, listen, one of the few things you can really rely on is great coaches. And John Becker, for the first time in a long time, has had a really rough season. Yes. Rough being defined at 18-11, by the way, and 11-3 in the America East. And my brother-in-law, Joe Polino, he sent me to the kids' table, okay, with Thanksgiving because of my love of Vermont that has burned him. He was so mad at me. But I will tell you this. Since the calendar has turned February, Gus, Maine home, Albany away, New Hampshire home, Maine away, Bryant home, UMass Lowell home, NJIT away, and he did cover. Now he's got UMBC away and Albany. They lost to UMBC at home 80-63. John Becker in a revenge spot when you know Bryant is going to be frisky with 5 minutes left up in Maine in the Black Bears, where I had to run a 600 meters, by the way, the worst race in track and field, in my opinion, my humble opinion. What do you say, buddy, John Becker?
Listen, we were kind of waiting on this, but we were waiting on it for two things, one of two results. We were waiting to see if the John Becker that we know and love and trust was going to get this turned around and have this Catamount team play at a championship level inside the America East. Or we were waiting to see if this was the season that it finally fell off. He brought in the wrong people. The player development didn't go the way that he thought. The chemistry in the locker room
was out for a couple games.
TJ was out, wasn't right. And look, we should have known what side to wait for. We should have known, and you've been on this, and that's why the listeners and subscribers tune in. You've been on this and been waiting on the right side of it. It continues to stay on the right side today. Absolutely no doubt.
Gus, this is like the Will Smith gif where he's in the room where no one's around. That was like me at the Vermont party about a month ago. January 31st.
Looking around, right? Like,
Buddy, we'll get out of here. I got a couple of questions coming in here. Quantitative, we agree. I will admit we agree. Iowa State at home laying 5.5 to Arizona. Iowa State is on a losing streak. I believe they'll be fully healthy today. No one believes in us, and I don't need a big reason to fade Caleb Love. Gus, It's 5.5. It's a lot. I get it, but I kind of agree with quantitative here, which is bad for quantitative, by the way.
Right. Spicy number. The thing to pay attention to here is even if they are down a guard or two, Justin Jefferson is going to help facilitate that offense.
It's great. It's great.
He's filled every hole for them in every way. I really look forward to what he's going to do against Awaka and Vassar and the bigs against Arizona. I think Justin Jefferson might be a little step above those bigs.
Excellent call. Kyle wants to say, well done. He said the JMU game at VCU was closer than it finished. It was, but they got to the window, Kyle. They covered until the last 30 seconds and they fouled. I like JMU today. He agrees. Agree with all that.
Yeah, Mason, of course. Yes.
Gus, couple quick ones. I skipped this one. Clemson is at Virginia. Clemson is great. Brad Brumnell's done an incredible job. They are 15-2 in the ACC. They are 1 game behind Duke. I don't think they're going to catch them here, but they have Virginia away. I just don't like laying all those points. I think it's up to 7.5.
Right.
I like Clemson, but I could see this being 6. That's my point.
The play I looked at here was maybe looking at the under, because we know that UVA is going to try to slow it down. Clemson doesn't mind slowing it down at all. Like they're very comfortable in the slog. So that might be a number to pay attention to as well, as far as that Clemson and UVA matchup goes. Watch out for McNeely. McNeely's putting up big numbers.
Yeah, it's been very hot lately. Very good.
Yeah.
I don't mind this one. Winthrop's 10-5. They've done a good job under Mark Prosser. They're home today, senior day, UNC Asheville. They lost to UNC Asheville away 93-84, but they were winning that game until about the last 5 minutes. I don't have a problem here. What's the put the spread in, Costco? Is it 4? Is it 4.5 or 3? Whatever it is. Maybe it's more. The Winthrop one I like better than the Clemson one just because I always like taking points. Gus, any thoughts on Winthrop at UNC Asheville? I think in the Big South, UNC Asheville's 11-4. High Points already won the Big South, but any thoughts on this?
No, I think if there was a senior day associated with it, I would maybe stay away from it. That would be my personal opinion. And I think UNC Asheville was due for like a downturn after being, very competitive and very / dominant inside that conference. So maybe Winthrop, this is their payback spot from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 4.5 is a good one. It's always good to have Panda Delect. I know who Panda Delect is. It's good to have Panda here. A couple other ones we'll get out of here. Questions.
Yeah.
Texas Tech getting 4.5 at Allen Field. Yeah, I'm staying away from this. I don't want any part of it. Kansas is down, right? Kansas down. That's when Bill Self comes up and drops a number on you. Texas Tech has been great. Grant McCaslin, but they have to be healthy. I don't think Williams is in. I'm very nervous. I don't want any part of this game. Zero part of this game.
I'm more worried about the McMillan health than the Williams health. So I think if you're questioning both of those top players for Texas Tech, that might be a stay away spot. This was funny. Vermont is now 7.5, and Scott is saying that we're moving lines. We're influencers. Line influencers.
John Becker is the influencer there. Quincy, I'll say this. I really like South Carolina at home. They have not won many games in the conference, but they're home against John Calipari. Yeah, I like South Carolina here. I think they're getting 1.5 or laying 1.5. I don't know about the over. I'm off on that. If you go to Frank Bryke's models at FTN, he's the over-under guy. I am not, but I do like South Carolina. I'm probably going to add this one.
I think if I was going to lean one way, I did look at this game and I was leaning maybe just off the top of my head. I was leaning a little bit under. South Carolina is going to try to grind it out. And I think Cal doesn't mind living in that space. And if you're going to rely on Knox and I'm trying to think of the other bouncy freshman to get points on the road, that might not happen. So maybe the under might be the play here as opposed to the over.
Yeah, Cal is dangerous when they're going to Kentucky.
Richmond,
the
other bouncy freshman.
Thank you. Yeah, when they're Cal's, this is a like nobody cares spot. South Carolina certainly cares. 2 more, and I'll get you out of here, Gus.
Yeah.
We will look these up. Sorry, this was not on my radar. These are good. I just didn't have them today. Western Michigan. So, Gus, Western Michigan is away at Northern Illinois, and they're favored by 3. Northern Illinois has kind of been annoying. Yes, they were blown out by Miami of Ohio, but their other games were really close. They took Ball State to overtime. They lost at home to Louisiana by 2. They lost away to Toledo by 4. I don't like laying points with Western Michigan off the top of my head. I don't. I'm going to lean here. Northern Illinois, Rashad Burno, yes, they're 1-14 in conference, Gus. I get it, but they've actually been fairly competitive. And I'm at the point where I'm laying points with a 7-8 in the MAC Western Michigan team. Any thoughts there?
I don't really have any thoughts for the Western Michigan one. I was going to maybe give more thoughts on the Portland one. I think.
Yeah, go to Portland. That's fine.
Yeah, I think if it's that small of a line, it depends on how small that number is going to be for you, Daryl. Like if it's going to be 2.5 or 1.5, then yeah, I think Portland might be the play there, because is San Diego really that reliable at home? Maybe not. I think the other part of that is maybe look at the over between that San Diego and Portland game. Like, they're going to put up points. I don't know if defense might be optional on that one. But I think the smallest number that you can grab for that Portland game, Daryl, would be the move.
Sorry, quantitative. I'm taking A&M. This is now
Really?
Texas A&M is down. No one likes Texas A&M, right? This is the spot where they bite you. They're home against Texas A&M. It's 9.5. I get they're also coming off a loss to Georgia, Florida. But Texas A&M, that's a lot of points. And Texas A&M, Gus, is coming off 3 straight losses.
Yep.
This, to me, is Buzz Williams at his best. He's going to have some big thing in the pregame. Maybe a half unit thing, but you're going to give me 9.5. Wade Taylor could have 38 today. I mean, we never know what Wade Taylor we're getting. I'm going to bet on variance there. I'm fine with that.
Watching the end of that A&M Vandy game, like, he did not stop coaching until the buzzer. It was amazing. Like, that game should have been over. Turnover, 3, steal. They had an opportunity. Like, he's going to effort, so his team is going to effort. So that's a big number, but you know that he's going to have his team ready just from watching the end of that Vandy game and how intense and how engaged he was during the end game situation there.
Gus, we'll get you out of here, buddy. I can't think of a better comment to end this stream than this.
Wow, Jameson.
Jameson. Jameson.
That's fantastic, Jameson.
I owe you a beverage at the expo in August, my friend, for that one.
Okay.
That is the greatest line.
The Vermont experience.
But there it is. I'm even leaving it up there. The pick is even up there. Now up to 7.5. Folks, we're out of here. Join us here at FTN. Gus is in there all the time going back and forth. I am as well. March 1st, Atlantic Sun tomorrow. Article coming out. Frank Brank's Models Conference Tournament. I can't stop talking. Walt Waddell is not sleeping. He's already doing previews as well.
Correct.
Ryan Coleman, you know the thing. We got everybody here. It's just the best time of year. We love it, guys. Thank you so much as always. We are here for you. FTN Fantasy, join us. Monthly subscription. Let me know if it's up there. It should be.
March 20.
We find you the edge.
Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament.